I'm now joined by Kevin and Sebastian from Southampton University Band, who played just before the lunch break in the Shield section. Thank you for joining us, both of you.
Yeah,
How was it?
I think it went really well.
Yeah, good performance.
Yeah. Any particular highlights for you? Anything you really enjoyed? The last number. So your last number was Starburst by Dan Price?
That's right, yeah. Really energetic piece, really rhythmic, lots of textural layers. So it was fun trying to strike the appropriate balance in all the sections for that.
Now, I must admit, I'm afraid I didn't hear the end of your performance because I was over here getting ready for these interviews. But Dan Price is quite a popular composer at UniBrass, and we've heard a fair few of his pieces before. I think like An American Tale and things like that. What was it about his music that attracted you to it and thought that it'd be good to play for UniBrass?
His was actually the first piece we picked when we selected our program based off of space themes.
Okay.
And I hadn't heard of him before. Coming from Canada, I come from a slightly different brass tradition. We have more brass choirs than brass bands, so it's been really great to sort of learn the ropes here. And it was actually my band president and some of the other members of the committee that selected that piece, and we thought, oh, this is great, we can build a good program off of this.
So you're the conductor of the band?
That's right.
And is this your first UniBrass?
This is my second UniBrass. I was in Sheffield last year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So what's it like coming back for a second time, and does it feel different doing the contest a second time?
It's wonderful a second time. Last year I was just doing the compere role for my principal conductor last year, Andy Wareham. So it's been great to come here again the second year and actually get to wave my arms around a little bit.
Very good. Now, this is your second?
No, this is my sixth and
your sixth
final. Yeah.
Your final one?
Sixth and final, yeah. So my first UniBrass was the last year it was at Warwick. So it's nice to go full circle.
Very good. And what was it? I mean, if you played 6 times in UniBrass, what was anything?
Well, so when I started, they didn't have the 2 sections.
Yes.
And now it's been split. It was a really good idea.
So your first year would have been, I think, the last one that was all in a single section.
That's right. Yeah, we were on that stage just out there.
Yeah. So how was it this year compared to the years you've played previously?
Oh, well, I mean, the team have so much more experience now, organising the contest, and it runs, well, of course it ran like clockwork before, but now it's even better.
Very good.
It's always been enjoyable. It's a real highlight.
Very good. So, as you said, you did a space theme for your programme, and you had 4 pieces. You had the Spacemen by TJ Powell.
That's right.
I don't know that piece at all.
I didn't know it either until, like I was saying, we were putting this program together. Yeah. And it was my assistant conductor who selected that piece. And just a wonderful traditional march that we don't really know the background of it because there's not a ton of information on what the inspiration for the piece was, but we liked the name and we liked a good march as part of the program.
So did you deliberately choose a march because, well, there's a prize for best march, or did you think that, it's really important to have a traditional march in the program, even if it's got a theme that doesn't necessarily link itself back to that?
Yeah, a bit of both. So obviously the fact that there's the march competition part of the set was important to us. But then starting off with a good traditional brass band march, there's really no better way to begin our set.
Very good. And what was your favourite part of the programme?
I really liked Now the Powers of Heaven. I think when we lowered the lights and turned on the pixie lights, I think that was very powerful.
You would say that, Kevin. You arranged it.
I did arrange it also, but...
So when it comes to, so arranging something did you arrange it for UniBrass, or is it a piece that you'd arranged previously?
Specifically for UniBrass and for the Southampton Brass Band.
Very good. And why did you choose that piece to arrange?
I come from a bit of a choir tradition as well, back in Canada, and really fell in love with this piece the first time I heard it. The whole piece is longer. It has another section to it. I just arranged the first bit and thought this would be originally just a nice piece to warm up with the band at the beginning of the year, learning how to blend together, learning how to balance together. And then everyone else really liked it, and we thought, how can we work this into our sets? And I'm glad we were able to.
Very good. Now, the other piece that I don't think we've touched on yet that you played was the Symphonic Suite from Star Wars Force Awakens, the Stephen Buller arrangement.
That's right.
I think we're hearing 3 Star Wars pieces today, in the Shield section.
I heard some Star Wars before going on.
We had Ray's theme from the same film.
That's right.
And I think we have the Imperial March coming up later. Did you, obviously with the space theme, there's a lot of space-themed music out there that you could choose.
That's right.
Obviously Star Wars, there's Star Trek.
We looked at Star Trek, E.T., a few other Treasure Planets we looked at.
So why did you choose this one?
John Williams is the master. I mean, nobody beats him. I thought it was very nice that it was Lancaster who
did a John Williams theme.
And he just turned 91 a few years, or a few days ago, something like that. So when it comes to brass music, I don't think anyone can beat John Williams. And he was certainly my inspiration as a young lad, getting into music for the first time, hearing Star Wars in the theater, and just being immediately captivated. So when it came to picking a piece for the program, I said, we got to go with Star Wars.
Well, thank you very much for trekking all the way over to the trophy studio and joining us. I'll let you go in a second, and you can go back to your band and celebrate that you've finished your performance, and best of luck for the results. We're now going to go to some interviews that we've done pre-recorded before the day, and we're going to start with one of our trophy section adjudicators, Philip Harper.
Hello and welcome. My name's Brett Baker, and on behalf of the UniBrass Foundation, it gives me great pleasure here to be talking to Philip Harper. How are we doing, Philip?
Hi, Brett. I'm well, thanks. You okay?
I'm very, very good. Looking forward to having this little chat and catching up, actually. So, as we talked before, it's been quite a while. So, I thought the first thing we should do for those that are watching and listening to this is talk a little bit about your background and where you come from and where you studied, because I think there will be an assumption that you're from South Wales, which absolutely is not the case.
This is not the case, no. No, I live in England. I've always lived in England. I live in Gloucester at the moment. But but I went to university in Bristol, which was about 180 miles from where I grew up in southeast Essex, a very, very a part of the country not associated with banding. But what was really important in my research when I was deciding what university to go to was what bands are there in the local areas of those universities. So I looked at Leeds and I looked at Sheffield, and in the end I decided I really fell in love with a band called the Sun Life Band, which was the band that wore the mustard coloured jackets, I'm sure you remember. They were, of course, in Bristol, which is basically one of the big reasons why I chose Bristol University. And I studied there and did 3 music degrees there, my undergraduate degree, a postgraduate degree in composition, and then later on a secondary teaching postgraduate PGCE as well, all at Bristol University. Lived there for 20 years and now just moved up the road to Gloucester. So yeah, that's where I'm coming from.
Excellent. So it's about an hour it'll take you to get to Corey, I guess. It's about an hour's drive. In
a helicopter, it'd be about an hour, yeah. It takes me probably 2 hours to get there. With a following wind and no traffic on the roads, then about an hour and a half to get back. It's about 80 miles, but the last 25 miles are not motorway. They're kind of up into the valleys, and the road gets narrower and narrower, and as you go up further, and then just before it stops altogether, that's the Corey band room. Just you, the band room, and the goats, basically. That's the sticks. Right. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, so in terms of your musical activities and your contest record, I could talk for a long time about all your achievements, and so it's more really to sort of ask you, well, because you've won every contest that's going, you've got some amazing CDs that are out with the band, they do some fantastic concerts that are very imaginative. What have you got left to do? What keeps you motivated? All of those accolades and all the rest of it, certainly on the contest side of things, are all very nice, but that's not what kind of gets me out of bed in the morning. For me, it always has been, and I think probably always will be, about the music. And that's what motivates me, really, is being able to be involved in some really kind of life-changing experiences through music that we know we can deliver to our audiences and also the members of our band as well. That's what really excites me. And of course, there's an unending supply of that, really. I'm a great advocate for the best quality music we can get in the world of brass bands, and it's not all brilliant quality, but when you do come across a contest piece, for example, that ticks all the boxes and is a real kind of, we can take our audiences on an emotional journey. That's what I'm all about, really. I mean, and if that happens to do well in a contest, then fine. But for me, the motivation remains really that being involved with great music. And of course, all the players in Corey Band are brilliant. So it's just the privilege of my life to go to rehearsal and just be in the same room as players of that caliber. But to be the linchpin and to kind of bring all of that together, that's kind of a real pleasure and a privilege for me. And those are the sort of things that keep me motivated. And this is my 11th year with Corey now. So yeah, I'm into double figures.
The band is doing fantastically well, and I know that both the competitors and the audience are going to listen. They're in for a treat, which brings me on to my next question, really, which is, what do they have to look forward to in the concert? Is there a theme in the concert, or is it sort of a little bit of everything?
We are, really, as well as looking forward to judging the contest, we're really looking forward to performing the gala concert, which we have done before, and it's been quite a unique affair in terms of atmosphere, shall we say. We're going to bring a little bit of everything to that gala concert. So we've got a whole plethora of pieces which are on our normal concert roster, whether it's kind of up-to-date brass band originals or whether it's arrangements of, classic orchestral pieces. We'll have a whole smorgasbord of brilliant top-class soloists, including Tom Hutchinson and Glyn Williams and Helen Williams, Chris Thomas on the trombone. And we are also going to be performing our Doctor Who set, which is something that we did at Brass in Concert last year. It's the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who this year. So we're performing this at every opportunity we can. And we've not played it where the audience hasn't absolutely had a ball. So that's going to be part of the show as well.
Oh, that's excellent. Really, really good. And we sort of touched on it a little bit. So you'll be judging the competitors at the competition, and you've been before. So is there anything generally that you'll be looking for the bands and the performers in terms of your take on contest performances?
I think it's probably an agreed principle amongst the world of adjudicators that we would generally kind of look for three basic things. This is not just really for UniBrass, but for any contest performance. Number one is we'd be looking for bands to play as tightly together as they can do. Number two, we'd be looking for bands to play as in tune as they can do. Those are the real basics. And number three, looking for the best quality sound overall. So that means, thinking carefully about your dynamic range and make sure that you're not kind of overdoing the dynamic range or pushing the quality of sound into an area you shouldn't go when you're playing really loud. It's also about, developing your quiet dynamic range as well, so that the quality of sound remains there. So yeah, those are the three basics really I'll be looking for. But, being UniBrass, I'd expect the unexpected in terms of repertoire and, maybe a bit of choreography and hijinks and stuff like that. But which is all, again, that's great, and everyone loves that, don't they? But in terms of the actual quality of the performances, those three basics are the ones that, for me, and I think for most adjudicators, would be the most important.
Well, I know that the bands are really looking forward to the competition and working hard at the moment. So thank you very much for your time, Philip Harper.
No problem. Best of luck to all the bands.
UniBrass 2023 is on Saturday the 11th of February. Tickets are on sale now from the Warwick Arts Centre box office.
Hello and welcome to another interview for the UniBrass Foundation. And my name's Brett Baker, and it gives me great pleasure to talk today to Shona Wade, who's dialing in, I guess, from, where should we say, the Wigan area, the Preston area? It's in between, isn't it?
Surely.
Surely.
Surely, yes.
Surely. Okay, great. Well, it's a pleasure to have you on board with this. And I mean, I should explain to all our viewers that we do know each other very well. So we've known each other a long time. So this should be dead easy in that case, shouldn't it?
It should be, yeah.
Right. So the first question really is, Why do you live in the north of England if you're from Scotland, and what do you do as your day job?
Okay, well, that's easy. I came to Salford University when I finished school a very, very, very long time ago. I was 17 then, I'm 48 now, so you can do the maths. And I never went home because, like most people really that move away, especially with brass bands, you put your roots down. Some of the great bands are up here, and I lived in the Manchester area for most of my life, actually, till the last few years. And I now live here particularly because I work in a private girls' school as head of academic music in Bolton, which is 15 minutes drive from here. And that's my day job, and that's what I do. And then at night or at the weekends, I have a double life, and I turn into Shona White, the horn player, adjudicator, teacher, all those kind of things. So sometimes it's super fun trying to get a bit of a work-life balance, but that's how it goes.
Excellent. Well, no, that's great. It just gives everybody a bit of context. And I should even say that I recently introduced you to my band as a conductor. So what was that like?
Well, I think you've been very complimentary there and very loose with the term conductor. Yes, it was amazing. I had such a good time, and everybody was just so lovely. I would say I probably went in more as a teacher and sort of flap my arms around a little bit, but it was great fun. And again, everybody was just so lovely and very welcoming. So thank you, everyone at Bolton.
They really, really enjoyed it. So that's great. And it's funny, isn't it, that you get situations where people see you as a certain thing. So, for instance, myself and yourself, they won't necessarily see us as conductors. They might see you as a tenor horn player. They might see me as a trombone player, and they don't realize that you might do other things. So,
Yeah.
It's important and interesting, I think, to sort of talk about that. So, before getting into adjudicating, you've played with all the best bands. You've been a soloist. You've been involved in BBC documentaries, and you've been on Top of the Pops and all that sort of stuff. So when you look back, what's the one thing that sticks out as a soloist, as a horn player, that you really look back on and think, yeah, that was great?
Oh, there really is. It's so cliche. There's so many amazing moments. And as I'm getting on a bit and older, and I do look back, and I cannot believe when I watch myself or hear myself play some of the things that I actually did and achieved when you've got a bit more energy. But there's so many. I actually can't say. I think winning the BBC Young Musician, going up against sort of orchestral players when I was very, very young was just incredible. Playing on the Perfect Day CD was just incredible. Playing in all the bands I've done. I've loved every minute of everything I've done, and I don't take any of it for granted, and look back on it with such pride now. It's incredible.
Well, one of the things I'm very struck by is how you take real interest in some of the younger players that are coming through, and you give them lessons and mentor them. So I guess that brings us on to what you're going to be doing at UniBrass this year, because you're going to be adjudicating the trophy section, I think it is. And so what was your first experience at UniBrass? Because was that a few years back?
Yeah, when it was in Bangor, probably way before. It was one of my first adjudicating things, actually, and it was with the other section. I can't remember what it's called. Sorry, and it was really great. It was, but it was a long time ago. So I'm really looking forward to coming back and doing the other section this time. And I've also got a lot more experience now than I did then, so that's good.
Well, they certainly asked me and sort of twisted my arm to say, what sort of things are you looking for or looking forward to if you've had the experience before and you sort of know what to expect now? What sort of things do you look for as an adjudicator? Very generally, because I don't want to get into trouble by bands then coming on here and saying, "Oh, well, Shona said this,"
Yeah.
but just generally, and then what you might be looking forward to with the trophy section.
Yeah. Well, I think I went to university myself. We went to university. We played in our university band, and we just did some amazing things. And we went to Brazil, and we just did these amazing tours, and we really created a big sort of family feeling. It was such a huge, playing in that band was probably, for me, when I was at university, the most important aspect of me being at uni and doing my course, and friendships that I still have to this day with loads of people that were in that band. They were the sort of the foundation of developing you as a person, because I was just so shy when I first went to university, and just sort of being with those people and them still being my friends now is really amazing. But we had so much fun, but always aiming to try and do as much quality playing as we could. So we had some incredible players in that band at the time, and I think a mixture of having fun, the commitment, but also the quality, which then leads on to what probably I personally would look for, is always quality playing in everything that you do. Every single note needs to say, "Choose me, I'm special, this is why I'm playing." Even if you're a horn player and you're playing a chord, or you're a back row cornet player, it needs to be in tune. You need to play together, and just the general basics of everything. And then a sense of fun and performance coming through in everyone's performance. And I think when you're at university, where you don't sort of have those huge stresses and pressures that you do when you don't realize at the time, you leave and then you go on and you're in the big world, and then that all happens. It's just enjoying the moment and just having fun with your friends, but at the same time that top quality.
You've just shocked about 300 university students that are thinking that this is the hardest thing they've ever done in their lives, being at university, and that things get so much easier once they get a job. So they are in for a shock, aren't they?
Big shock.
Great. Okay. And so is there any one thing you could give as advice to the players that are preparing for this competition? It's a couple of weeks away. Is there any one thing as a brass player that, or even a percussionist, that they should think about in terms of their journey from now till the competition?
Well, pace yourself for a start, because you don't want to end up not being able to play and leaving everything to the last minute. So sort of pace yourself with your practice. Make sure you know how to play all your parts. That's, kind of goes without saying. You need to put that time in and that effort. But I think also probably one of the things that I find that I miss a lot when I do listen to bands is that communication with each other as a player. So you listen to the person who's played that lyrical line before you, and you pass that they pass that to you, and then you pass that to someone else. Just kind of makes the music say more, and just probably stands out a little bit than everyone else. And dynamic contrast. Play quietly. If it says play quietly, or try at least.
Great. Well, that's excellent advice for them. And I know that all the bands are thoroughly looking forward to playing to you in a couple of weeks. So thank you very much for your time, Shona.
Oh, you're welcome. And I can't wait to hear everybody play.
I'm sure they're going to absolutely love it.
UniBrass 2023 is on Saturday the 11th of February. Tickets are on sale now from the Warwick Arts Centre box office.